Welcome to Gridiron Steady. I'm your host, Sean B. Email us at sportsteady@protonmail.com, sportsteady@protonmail.com. You can follow us on social media on Instagram at sportsteady, as well as Facebook, Sportsteady TV, and X. I know it has the Twitter thing, but it should be an X at Gridiron Steady. Now, NFL Week 9 taking off Thursday night at Pittsburgh, or in Pittsburgh, I should say. And 11-5 last week, and so on the season now we are, I can get it up, 11-5, 72-50 on the year. Last few weeks been pretty decent. Now, this is what I want to say before I get started. I really think that big point spreads came through for us pretty solid last week, except for the Patriots. Now, I pick the Patriots every week by default, but I really thought last week that the 9.5 would be a big number, and I thought the Pats would at least lose by less than 9.5. But they didn't. They got beat up, and every other big number came through though. Tampa Bay plus 9.5, Washington plus 7, Broncos plus 7. I think they won their game outright against the Chiefs. Chargers 8.5, Lions 7.5, Arizona plus 9.5. So we do pretty well with the big spreads when we do get them. We do pick them either way, whether it's the favorite or the underdog. We usually pick pretty good with that. But anyway, moving on, because we don't want to live in the past. We're now on to week number 9. And it starts off tonight in Pittsburgh with the Tennessee Titans heading out to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Now, remember, we are 6-2 on Thursday night football games on the year. 6-2. So you might want to pay attention here. Now, Titans 4-3, Steelers, Titans 3-4, Steelers 4-3 on the year. This over under tonight will be 36.5. And rookie quarterback Will Levis, who we thought should have been the starter, I thought much sooner. He got the call last week through 4 touchdowns. The guy was unbelievable. 130.5 QB rating, 19-29. Is he the next man to be a star for the Tennessee Titans? We'll see. But I think in a short week, they just played a short week. They got to go out to Pittsburgh. TJ Watt's going to be waiting for that rookie quarterback. TJ Watt is licking his chops to go after Will Levis. And I think you're going to see a game here where the Pittsburgh Steelers are only 3-point favorites at home. I think they cover this easily. You take the Steelers at home Thursday night. Remember, we're 6-2, so we know what we're talking about. All right. That's pretty simple. Let's move on. I'm going to try and make this quick. I know the last few videos with these have been longer, but I've been getting calls and emails from the higher up saying I got to make these shorter, so that's what we're going to try to do here. Washington Commanders heading out to Foxborough, take on the Patriots. Patriots are 3-point favorites. You know my rule. I'm taking the Pats automatically. I think this is a game the Patriots could win. They probably should win. They better win. 2-6. They last in the AFC East. This could be, if they lose this game, things can get bad. Also, there's a lot of rumors going around now about Bill Belichick's seat starting to warm up a bit. We're not going to get into that right now, but I think a lot of those rumors are uncalled for. So, take the Patriots in the -3 at home. Next, we got the Frankfurt game up in the 8:30 in the morning. You got to get up early, guys. Sunday morning, if you care, to Miami Dolphins and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, come on. What a treat for the people out in Frankfurt, right? They get two of the top in the AFC to go at it. Two of arguably the best teams of football. But the American football fan base has to get up at like 7 o'clock in the morning to watch this game. Bad job by the NFL for the Americans, but good job for them for being able to promote this game to the international audience. So I guess that's good for that. But they get Dolphins and Chiefs. This might be the best matchup that has ever happened on international soil, right? and they get them at a good time. Dolphins and Chiefs. Dolphins 6-2. Chiefs are 6-2. Both teams are first in their divisions. Now the Chiefs came off a tough loss last week against the Denver Donkeys, so we fully expect the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 1-point favorites, well, it's actually 1.5. The spread went up to 1.5 as I was just going through it, but it was 1 when I did the line, so we're gonna keep it at 1. It's 1.5 now. It seems to have moved, but I had 1 before when I picked. As you can see on the paper here, I had KC 1. So we're gonna stick to that line, but the line has moved up to about 7. So not 7. The line has moved up to 1.5 as I just refreshed the page, but we're sticking to the 1. Same thing, 1, 1.5, 1. The Chiefs are the favorite. Bottom line, it's pretty much a pick 'em. Taking the Chiefs. I think Patrick Mahomes, they're gonna bounce back, get the victory. I still think Miami is slightly overrated, guys. I'm sorry, that's just my feeling. A lot of their big stats are coming that one game when they scored 70 points, where everyone had like 1,000 yards each. So that's why their numbers are pretty inflated when it comes to like individual stats and all that stuff and rankings. So take the Chiefs. All right, next up, let's go to Green Bay, where the LA Rams will head to Lambeau Field to take on the Packers. Now, quarterback situation is kind of up in the air here. We know that. Now, Sean McVay has not ruled out the possibility that Stafford could play on Sunday, even without practicing all week. So, but as of right now, the likely starter will be Brett Ripon. I don't know who that is. He's a 27-year-old, twice as many career interceptions as touchdowns. He owns a 2-1 record in 3 previous starts. He started 1 game for the Denver Broncos back in 2022 and 2 more in 2020. 2020 and 2022. So the Rams activated him from the practice squad last month. He went 5 of 10, 42 yards after taking over for Stafford against the Cowgirls. So now, I don't know. The Rams have great receivers in Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, who's been really good this year. Nacua is he's second in the league in receptions and third in yards. So we'll see if this Brett Ripon, I don't know, can get it done. We'll see if he could step in and get those guys the ball. But anyway, I like the Green Bay Packers at home here to win this game. So take Green Bay -3. If you notice this week, a lot of the spreads are smaller. So I guess after last week, maybe Vegas got torched on those big spreads in the last few weeks, and they're trying to, keep it manageable. So let's move on. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers head out to the Houston Texans house to take on those pesky Texans who are looking to hit the 500 mark, right? It looks like Tampa's come back down to earth a little bit, but Houston, I thought would be challenging the Panthers for the top pick. They're at 3-4. They're second in the AFC South. If they win, they're gonna be at 500. Who would have thought that through 9 weeks, the Texans would be playing for 500? I thought they would be like 2-5 at this point, or maybe 1-6. But you got to give Texans credit. They play well at times. Quarterback C.J. Stroud, who struggled last week, looking to bounce back after a tough loss. I don't know if he struggled that badly, but he definitely, we'll see if he can bounce back and avoid losing 2 in a row. And I believe they lost to Carolina, right? You would think that would be a game they would have won. But I like the Houston Texans at home. So take Texans in the 3 against Tampa. Move on. Arizona Cardinals head out to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Shits. Now, Josh Dobbs is gone. They traded him. They sent him off to Minnesota, where he won't play yet, apparently. We'll get into that when we get to the Viking game. But so Cardinals are 1-7. Their season's over. They never had a season. The Browns, surprisingly, are 4-3. They're third in the AFC North, that tough division with Pittsburgh and Baltimore and the Bengals. That might be the toughest division from top to bottom. So the Cleveland Browns hoping to get Deshaun Watson back from his shoulder injury to face the Cards. The Browns are 8-point favorites in this game. I'm taking the Cardinals here. The Cardinals have been pretty good to me at times with a large spread when they're underdogs. I'm taking the Cardinals in the +8. Cleveland probably would win the game. I don't think they're going to win by more than one score if they do win. Remember, Cleveland also got rid of Peoples Jones in a trade as well, so they're down a receiver. Deshaun Watson's coming back. They hope he comes back because their quarterbacks that filled in for him sucks. Ford is caught an ankle. So there's a couple things going on there, but I still think this game could be a little bit closer than 8 points, and that should be enough for us to take Arizona +8. All right, let's move on. The Chicago Bears headed out to New Orleans to take on the Saints. Now the Bears are underdogs, 8.5 point underdogs, heading to New Orleans. And the Bears, I don't understand the Bears. I thought they was gonna really be a decent team. They just completely collapsed in these first half of the season. I wonder if they can step it up in the second half. Now, Tyson Badgett, he's set to start his third consecutive game with Justin Fields sidelined because of a dislocated right thumb. So there you go with that. Badgett is a undrafted rookie from Division II, Shepherd University. So he should. I mean, they start in Division II quarterbacks in the NFL through week 9. This is like most of these names, you don't even know who these guys are unless you are the family member of the quarterback or you went to the school that they played at. But this is bad. I mean, this is not good for the National Football League. Like, it'd be nice if you can get a story out of it. Maybe somebody becomes a Brock Purdy or whatever, but at least Brock Purdy actually got drafted, right? But these guys, Division II, that's the best you can get as your starter behind Justin Fields is a Division II guy. I mean, what are we doing here? Undrafted rookie from Division II is now in the mix. Wow. Anyway, so that's that for the. I'm taking the Bears though. The Saints are okay, but I'm taking the Bears. 8.5. Take the Bears +8.5. Win some money. Over on 41.5. So if that game stays in the 20s, I think it's going to be a close game. And the Saints will probably win, but they won't cover. So that's my thinking on that. All right, so let's move on to the Seattle Sea Chickens and the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are looking for another win against the NFC when they host the Seattle Sea Chickens. Both teams are first place in their division. Sea Chickens are 5-2. Ravens are 6-3. Geno versus Lamar, two running quarterbacks going at it. So, Lamar Jackson is 17-1 against the NFC as an NFL starter. So this guy has completely beat. He's won. He's almost automatic against the NFC. Now, is it because of him every game? I have to go back and look at all the stats, but the record says it all, right? We talk about these records with like Tom Brady had impressive records against certain like divisions and conferences. So I gotta give Lamar, credit here. 17-1 and 17-1. I mean, whatever that means, is pretty damn good. I'm not a big Lamar guy. I think he's slightly overrated, but you go 17-1 against the NFC. It's pretty good. And I always said NFC is the inferior conference anyway, so that proves my point. So will Lamar Jackson go 18-1? I say yes. Ravens are 6-point favorites in this game, and this is a game is in Baltimore at home. Seattle's coming all the way from the West Coast out to the East Coast, far out to the Northeast. This is a game that the Ravens should win by at least a touchdown. So I see that happening. So take the Ravens. Over under is 44.5, by the way. Now this could be a bait game for the bettors. They put the line at 6, knowing that the game probably could be closer, but I'm still taking Baltimore in the -6. All right, let's move on. The Vikings and the Falcons. Now, Falcons last week, all right? A tough game. Both teams are 4-4. Vikings made the trade for Josh Dobbs, but Dobbs will start according to the reports here. It looks like Jaron Hall will get his first start for the Vikings. Nick Mullins, who was the primary backup, is out. So which means that he's on injury reserve with a lower injury. So it looks like Josh Dobbs probably will be the backup quarterback. Tyler Heineken for the Falcons, who got traded from the. Did he get traded? No, he didn't get traded. He was already on the team. Excuse me. I was thinking about a different quarterback. So Desmond Ritter job, he's lost his job, right? He's like he's out. So Taylor Heineken will get the start. And I don't know if Ritter will even get back to the quarterback spot unless Heineken get hurt. Heineken was solid. Like I thought Heineken was decent last year. So this may be a permanent spot for Heineken to keep the job. Well, let's talk about Jared Hall for a second. Jared Hall was a fifth round pick out of BYU, took over in the fourth quarter last week. An impressive victory, 24-10 over the Green Bay Packers after Kirk Cousins went down. And but Heineken, so we'll see what Hall can do. Can he get them to victory? I'll take the Falcons here because I trust Heineken over Hall. Don't know much about the Hall kid. I think Heineken and with this Atlanta team probably could get the victory at home. They're 4-point favorites. Take Atlanta. The safe bet is only 4 points. Don't be afraid. Next, let's move on. The Indianapolis Colts. Indy 3-5, last in the AFC South. And the Carolina Panthers 1-6, fourth place, last place in the NFC South. So I like the Colts here. They got the running attack with Taylor and Moss. They're only 2.5-point favorites, even though they're on the road. I like the Colts. This is an easy one. Panthers are playing for the lottery or the top pick. And they did fire, so we'll see what happens. Take the Colts. Moving on. The New York Giants and the Las Vegas Raiders, almost the LA Raiders. Raiders fired everybody this week. Josh McDaniels, the GM, the water boy, the towel boy, the pool boy, the cheerleaders, they all got fired. Not that, I'm exaggerating. But the Raiders are 2-point favorites at home, and they're running out Aiden O'Connell. Josh McDaniels, he just got the raw end of the stick, unfortunately, and he's out. So here's the deal. I like the New York Giants on the road. They showed some bright spots last week on defense. I think that the Giants are gonna play this tough. They might win the game outright. So take the Giants. The game of the week, if you don't count Miami, Kansas City, because that game's gonna be like 9 in the morning. So the afternoon game, which I think is the game of the week, potentially will be the Dallas Cowgirls and the Philadelphia Sheagles on Fox. Sheagles 7-1. They're looking to put a permanent lead, in my opinion. If they win this game, they're probably safe to say that they will probably go on to win the division unless there's a huge collapse. This is a game where the Eagles can take a 2, maybe a 2.5 game lead, or at least 2-game lead if they win it. If they can give the Cowgirls another loss. So Cowgirls 5-2, Eagles 7-1, and how about AJ Brown? This guy's putting up crazy numbers. Wide receiver for the Philadelphia Sheagles. This guy's putting up monster numbers. Everyone's talking about what Tariq Hill's doing, but the last few weeks, AJ Brown's probably been the best wide receiver in football. So we'll see if he can continue to do greatness against the Dallas Cowgirls. Now, let me see. A couple injuries to look at. Nothing really stands out here. So we're going to have Cowgirls defense going up against the Sheagles offense. And this is going to be a big game, guys. Eagles are 3-point favorites. I take the Eagles. They're at home. Safe pick. Lincoln Financial. All Eagles all day. All right. Moving on. And the game, Sunday night game, which also could be game of the year, game of the week potentially. I think it's going to be Cowgirls, Eagles, but Bills, Bengals is not a bad matchup either. I mean, we're going to get a pretty decent matchups, right, this week, believe it or not. Okay, maybe not all the way. The good games won't be coming on till like 4 o'clock and then the 8 o'clock game. Bengals and Bills in Cincinnati, the point favorites in this game. Bengals 4-3, Bills 5-3. Bills are I think Joe Burrow leads the Bengals primetime matchup against Josh Allen. This is the easy one. The Bengals got this in the bag. I'm just not a big Josh Allen fan. I think the Bills are going to fold like a cheap suit. So take the Bengals and they -2. And the final game, the LA Chargers head out to MetLife to take on the New York Jets sucks. Now, the Jets have not sucked that bad. They have a better record than the Chargers, which I don't think that would have been possible, especially after Aaron Rodgers went down. But that's the case here for Monday night. The Jets 4-3, the NFC East. And could you imagine if the Jets win this game and they are 5-3, and somehow the Bills lose their game, right? Which is very possible, and the Bills go 5-4. You're talking about the Jets could be in second place by Monday, right? It'll only be second place by a game if the Chiefs beat the Dolphins. So through 9 weeks, if everything goes the Jet way, a Dolphin loss, a Bills loss, and a Jet win, the Jets would be one game back of first place in the AFC East through 9 weeks without Aaron Rodgers. If someone would have told you that, if we would have told you in the offseason or after week 1 when Aaron Rodgers went down, that after week 9, going into week 9, the Jets will have a chance to be one game out of first place in the division, you would have thought we were crazy, because you would have said, no way, the Bills, the Dolphins, I mean, they would at least be 1-2 easy. But here we are with the Jets. How are they doing it, right? The Jets sucks. We got to give them some credit if they can pull this off. And the Chargers are a decent team, I'm picking the Chargers 3.5 point on the road. So all that scenario that I just said probably won't happen, right? The Jets are probably going to lose their game. But it's something to look at. It's going to be pretty interesting if that does happen. But I'm taking the Chargers 3.5. Take the Chargers. Over under in this game is 40.5. So it's going to be kind of low. Not that low, but probably in the 20s. One team is going to probably be in the 20. Other one won't be. Both teams will be under 20 at some point. So I like the Chargers. This is urgency time for you, Chargers. You have to get this game. I don't understand why you're at 500. You got to win, right? The Chargers, they're urgent. They got to go out. Prime time, you got to go out there. You got to beat the Jets. No games. You did well for me last week, right? 8.5 point favorites, and they covered that easily. So I think you got to do it again. You got to do it again, Chargers. Get it done. So let's recap real quick before we get out of here. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers, Patriots, Chiefs, Packers, Texans, Cardinals +8, Bears +8.5, Ravens, Falcons, Colts, Giants +2.5, Eagles, Bengals, and the LA Chargers. So those are the week 9 picks against the spread. Do as you please. If you mortgage the house, you're on your own. If you lose, you're on your own. If you win, give me some props and slide a couple of C notes my way. You know what I mean? Anyway, all right, guys. So that's it for week 9. I think the game of the week is probably going to be Eagles, Cowgirls. But we got a couple good ones, right? Dolphins will be a good one, and Bengals, Bills, and I actually think the Jets and Chargers may be a good one too. Let's not sleep on that. That could be a good game as well. And we'll see what Will Levis against the Steelers. Is he the next great young quarterback, or is he just a flash in the pan? We'll find out. Anyway, that's it for week 9 picks against the spread. Don't forget to follow us on social media at SportsSteady on Instagram, and send us an email, sportssteady@protonmail.com, sportssteady@protonmail.com. Show the email one more time at the bottom of the screen right here. As you can see, that is the email. All right, so that's it for week 9 picks against the spread. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.